Okay, so have you ever scrolled through Instagram and seen those like self-care setups?
Oh, yeah.
The ones with the bath bombs and the robes and
Mm-hmm.
like the perfect lighting. Like it all looks so relaxing, but
Funny.
I always wonder if it's all just for show
Yeah.
or if there's something more to it. Like does this kind of indulgent self-care actually make a difference?
Well, you know what's really cool?
Hmm.
The science actually shows that treating yourself like to something luxurious,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
can actually like have an effect. It goes like way beyond just, the pampering. Like
Yeah.
it can actually affect your brain and your emotional well-being.
Wow. So you're saying it's not just about like feeling good in the moment.
Hmm.
There's actual science behind like why a face mask or, a bath could actually change our mood.
It's wild.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So let's start with how luxury like interacts with our brain. So when you experience something that you think is luxurious, your brain releases dopamine.
Dopamine. Okay.
Yeah.
So isn't that's like that same thing that we get when like we see a notification on our phone
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or we eat chocolate like that's the same thing that's involved in addiction, right?
Exactly. It's all about reward and pleasure.
Oh, okay.
So research has shown that indulging in, something luxurious, like
Mhm.
a really nice skincare product, or even just like sinking into a comfy chair, it triggers a similar dopamine response.
Oh, wow.
There was even a study published in the Journal of Consumer Research,
Okay.
and it actually showed that the experience like of luxury,
Mm-hmm.
it like activates those reward centers in our brains.
Fascinating. So you're saying like even just thinking about treating yourselves can start like those good chemicals flowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And get this research from Harvard actually found that like thinking of those little treats like as a sacred ritual.
Oh, sacred ritual.
Yeah.
I like that.
Actually amplifies the positive effects on our well-being.
Okay, so it's not just about the thing itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how we think about it and how we approach it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about that intentionality. Like instead of, mindlessly scrolling through your phone in the bath,
Right?
like really like be present in that moment. Like experience the warmth of the water,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scent of the bath bomb.
The feeling of like just being in your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's not just about like the products, it's about creating that whole experience.
Yes.
Okay, I love that.
So we all know that self-care is good for stress, right?
Yeah.
But like what's actually happening in our bodies when we like have these relaxing like rituals?
Right.
Like is it really more than just like, feeling relaxed for an hour?
I'm curious about that too. Like, does it have a lasting effect?
So it actually affects your cortisol levels.
Cortisol.
Cortisol is the main stress hormone in your body. And studies show that things like, warm baths or even just being in a comfy space can really reduce your cortisol.
Oh, interesting.
There was even a study in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology that showed that.
Okay, so we're not like imagining this.
No.
It's like scientifically proven that like a long bath can actually like de-stress you.
Yes,
Okay.
but it gets better.
Wow.
So indulgent self-care doesn't just offer like temporary relief. It can actually help rewire your brain to like better regulate your emotions over time.
Rewire our brains. Okay, now we need to know more.
So basically when you like do these like rituals consistently, your brain starts to associate like that activity
Yeah.
with peace and relaxation.
Right.
So it's like you're like training your brain to handle stress better.
So we're like giving our brains the tools to like cope.
Exactly.
Interesting.
But it doesn't stop there.
Right.
It can actually have a huge impact on other parts of your well-being. Mm-hmm.
Including your hormones and your emotions.
I think we often think of self-care as like the physical things, right?
Yeah.
Like skincare or like hair masks.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's deeper than that.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we do those luxurious things,
Yeah.
like the things that involve touch or scent or even deep relaxation, we're activating our parasympathetic nervous system,
Our parasympathetic nervous system. Okay.
which is it's also known as the rest and digest
Doesn't
system.
manage digest.
The opposite of fight or flight.
Got it.
So when it's activated,
Mm-hmm.
it slows your heart rate down,
Mm-hmm.
it helps you relax, and get this,
Yeah.
it triggers the release of oxytocin.
Wait, oxytocin, isn't that like the cuddle hormone?
Mhm.
The one that we get like when we hug someone?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that had anything to do with self-care.
It's fascinating. So oxytocin isn't just released during like physical touch.
Oh. It can also be triggered by things like, a warm bath, a massage, or even just taking the time to, like, really savor a meal.
So you're telling me that, like, these luxurious experiences could actually be boosting my levels of, like, the love hormone.
It's true.
Wow. That's crazy.
And there's more and more research coming out that's showing, like, just how important oxytocin is for reducing anxiety.
Wow.
And helping us be more emotionally resilient.
Okay. My mind is blown right now. So, like, these self-care rituals, they're not just about feeling good in the moment.
Right.
They're, like, actually changing our brains, our stress levels, our hormones. And it, like, has a lasting impact on our well-being.
Exactly.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here.
There is.
But there's something else I want to talk about, too.
Okay.
Like, it's not just about the activities themselves, but, like, the power of ritual, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Like creating a ritual around these things.
Yes.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So research from Yale has actually shown that rituals, even the, like, small ones,
right,
they can be, like, so powerful in reducing anxiety and helping us regulate our emotions.
So you're saying that, like, even just, like, lighting a candle before bed could actually be, like, sending a signal to my brain.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's time to relax now.
Exactly. It's about, like, creating that predictability.
Right.
And those little moments of like, self-care in our, like, busy lives.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, let's be real, like, life can be chaotic, right?
Yeah.
So creating those moments, like, it can really be grounding. Especially, like, for women who, we often have a lot on our plates.
That's true. And those, like, rituals can help us feel more in control.
Right.
Which can be so helpful when, everything else feels so unpredictable.
Yeah, like we're creating a little sanctuary. A place for ourselves where we can just, like, recharge.
Yeah.
Okay, I love all of this. This is great. But I do want to address something.
Okay.
I feel like, we're talking about luxury. And that word can, like, feel exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's only for people with a lot of money or a lot of resources.
Yeah, you're so right to bring that up. I think, like, the way that luxury is shown, like, in the media,
right,
it can be really misleading.
Yeah, we see, like, these images of, like, expensive products, vacations, lavish lifestyles. It's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah.
Like, thinking that that's what true luxury is.
Right. And the truth is, like, luxury isn't about the price tag. It's about the intention.
Yeah.
It's about how you treat yourself. It's about, like, creating those moments that nourish your soul.
So it's not about, like, keeping up with the Joneses. It's about, like, finding what genuinely brings us joy and peace.
Exactly.
Like,
you can create a luxurious experience without, spending a ton of money.
Right.
It's about, like, those small things to elevate your everyday life.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
But, there's a bigger conversation here too, right? Like, the idea of self-care itself has become really, like, commodified.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's this idea that you have to, like, buy it.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that you have to earn.
It's a tough topic because, like, on the one hand, it's great to enjoy, like, nice things and treat ourselves.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't want to fall into that trap of thinking that self-care means spending a lot of money.
Right. Exactly. We've been, like, conditioned to think that, we need to buy things in order to, like, deserve it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need to, like, change your thinking there.
Okay.
Self-care, it's not about, like, what you buy. It's about how you treat yourself. It's about the choices that you make every day to like, prioritize your well-being.
So it's those little things, like those little acts of kindness that we do for ourselves, whether it's a face mask or just, 5 minutes of quiet time.
It could be as simple as, like, taking a few minutes to stretch or listen to some music or, go outside.
Yeah.
Like, those are all things that nourish us without having to, like, buy anything.
Right. And I feel like those are often the things that have the biggest impact too. Like, it's about, like, figuring out what you need and finding those things that feel really good for you. Okay, so you're saying, like, luxury and self-care It's not one size fits all.
Definitely not.
Okay, I love that.
It's really personal.
Yeah. It's funny, like, when you think about it, like, luxury used to be about things, right?
Yeah.
Like, fancy cars, designer clothes, like, big houses.
Yep.
But now,
Yeah.
it seems like it's shifted.
It has.
It's more about, like, a feeling and
Well,
experience.
yeah, it's about like those moments of connection and taking care of yourself.
Like, being present.
Yes.
Like, slowing down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful shift, I think.
It is, and I think it speaks to, like, how much we're learning about well-being.
Yeah.
Like, we're finally realizing that, like, taking care of ourselves, it's not selfish.
No.
It's essential.
It's how we show up as our best selves.
Right. And when we take care of ourselves, we're better able to take care of others too.
Absolutely.
So it's like this ripple effect.
Yeah.
We start by nurturing ourselves, and then we're able to nurture, our relationships, our communities,
Right.
the world.
It all starts with us.
Okay. I love that. That's a powerful message. So it's not just about us. It's about, like, creating a more compassionate world. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been amazing. But I want to hear more about, like, how we can actually, like, put this into practice.
Okay.
Like, how do we make this real in our own lives?
I'm happy to share more.
Great.
So it's about tuning out, like, all the noise, all the expectations, you know,
Yeah.
and just, like, figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, like giving ourselves permission to define it on our own terms.
Exactly. What feels luxurious to one person, you know,
yeah.
could be totally different for someone else.
Totally. And that kind of brings us back to what we were talking about before, like
Right.
this idea that self-care has become so, like, commercialized.
Yeah.
Like, it's this thing that you have to, like, buy.
Right. Like, there's nothing wrong with like enjoying nice things, right?
Of course.
And treating yourself. But we don't want to think that that's the only way to take care of ourselves.
Exactly. Like, it's not about, like, needing to buy things in order to feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So real self-care, it goes beyond that. It's about, like, how you treat yourself every single day. And the choices you make to, like, put your well-being first.
It's those small, like, daily things, right?
Yeah.
Like those little acts of kindness.
Like taking a few minutes to stretch.
Yeah.
Or listening to, like, your favorite music.
Right. Or even, like, just going outside.
Yeah, getting some fresh air.
Yeah.
Those are all things that, like, really make a difference, and you don't have to spend any money on them.
Right. And honestly, sometimes those simple things are the things that have the biggest impact.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's about, like, really tuning in to what you need in that moment.
Right. Finding what feels good.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're saying, like, luxury and self-care.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Not at all.
It's very individual.
It's a personal thing.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about, like, back in the day, luxury was all about, like, the material stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, you had to have the fancy car, the designer clothes,
Yeah.
the big house. But it seems like it's really shifted now.
It has.
It's less about, like, the stuff.
Yeah.
And more about the experience, the feeling.
That's about, like, connection and taking care of yourself.
Like, slowing down.
Yeah.
Being present.
Yes, exactly. It's a really beautiful shift.
It is. And it makes me think that, we're learning more about well-being, about, like, what truly matters.
Yeah.
We're finally starting to understand that self-care, it's not selfish.
Yeah.
It's actually really important.
It's essential.
Yeah. It's how we show up as our best selves.
Right.
And when we take care of ourselves, we're better at taking care of other people.
Absolutely.
So it's like this ripple effect.
Yes.
It starts with us, and then it goes outward to our relationships, our communities, the whole world.
It all starts with us.
That's a really powerful thought.
It is.
It's not just about us as individuals. It's about creating, like, a better world.
More compassionate world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about the benefits, but I want to know more about the how. Like, how do we actually put this into practice?
Okay.
How do we make this real in our lives?
I'd love to share some ideas.
Awesome.
Huh?
It's easy to, like, get caught up in what everyone else is doing, and forget to like listen to ourselves.
Right. It's like we need permission to just do what feels good for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that connects to what we were talking about before, like self-care being so like commercialized.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tricky one because like
Right.
there's nothing wrong with enjoying like the nice things
Of course not.
and treating ourselves.
Right.
But we don't want to like fall into this trap of thinking that's the only way to do self-care.
Right, exactly. Like
Yeah.
we don't have to buy things to deserve to feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true self-care, it's bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the intention.
Mm.
It's about like how you treat yourself every day
Mm-hmm.
and the choices that you make to prioritize yourself.
It's those little things, right?
Yeah.
Those like small acts of kindness.
Like taking a few minutes to stretch
Mm-hmm.
or listen to music
Yeah.
or get outside.
Or just like 5 minutes with a cup of tea and a good book.
Yes, exactly. Like those things all make a difference
Mhm.
and they're free.
Right. And a lot of times, like those simple things are the most powerful.
I think so too. It's
Yeah.
about finding what you need in that moment
Right.
and what feels good for you.
Like what actually nourishes you.
Exactly.
It's funny to think about how much like our idea of luxury has changed. Like it used to be all about like stuff, right?
Yeah, it was all about the material thing.
Like the fancy cars, the big houses, the designer clothes. But now it's different.
It is. It's less about stuff and more about the experience, the feeling.
Yeah, and the connection.
Yeah.
Like really being present in the moment.
Slowing down.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful shift, I think.
It is. And I think it shows how much we're like learning
Mm-hmm.
about well-being,
Yeah.
about what really matters.
Yeah.
Like we're finally starting to understand that self-care isn't it's not selfish.
Right.
It's important.
It's essential.
Yeah, it's how we show up as our best selves.
It is.
And when we do that, when we take care of ourselves, we're better able to take care of everyone else too.
Absolutely. Like it creates this ripple effect.
Yeah.
So, we nurture ourselves and then we're able to nurture, our relationships, our communities,
Yeah.
The world.
Yeah. That's a really powerful thought.
It is.
So it's not just about us.
No.
It's about like creating this better world, a kinder world.
A more compassionate world.
Yeah. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into indulgent self-care, I want to leave our listeners with this.
Okay.
Self-care is a journey. It's not a destination.
Right.
It's something that we're always like learning and growing with.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it.
And most importantly, I think it's about giving ourselves permission to enjoy it, to find those things that bring us joy, that make us feel good.
To like indulge in those little luxuries.
Yeah, exactly.
And find the joy in those everyday moments and create a life that feels good, a life that's aligned with who you are.
Okay, I love that. This has been so great.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you about this today.
Likewise. And thank you to all of our amazing listeners for joining us on this deep dive into indulgent self-care.
Yes, thank you.
So until next time,
Yeah.
be kind to yourselves, prioritize joy, and remember, you deserve to feel good.
Yeah, you do.
That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next deep dive.